Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have TES Arena, Skyrim Frontier Fortress. This is a hidden gem of sorts that adds 10 historical locations to Skyrim that were present in the first Elder Scrolls game, TES Arena. The mod was released about 9 months ago, and back then it only included a city or two, but the author has been persistent and has continued to update the mod ever since, with the most recent update coming just a couple of weeks ago. The 10 locations mostly include cities, villages and fortresses that were pretty significant in TES Arena. The author has tried his best to both redesign these locations based on their original appearance, as well as any additional information from the lore and history surrounding the landmark. And then he's taken current events into account to make any final touches. So for example, some of these locations are abandoned cities that were once used by each of the holds during a civil war, but when the Imperials brought peace to Skyrim, they were no longer needed. But now Skyrim is in another civil war, so certain cities are taking control and starting reconstruction on these once abandoned strongholds. You definitely get a feel for it too, and you'll almost immediately be able to guess who has control over the landmark. So on screen now you can see the Blackmoor Fortress, which is being held by Whiterun. You can clearly see the signs of Whiterun all around. You can just look at the architecture of the newer buildings, and the fact that they're growing wheat and honey for mead tells you Whiterun is a strong influence. The mod also does a good job in spreading out the new locations all around the province. So the author hasn't chosen a group of them in a particular area on the map, and you should stumble upon most of them during a full playthrough. Alternatively, these new locations are just interesting to visit even if you aren't currently playing Skyrim. And if you're interested in location mods in general, then it's probably worth installing just to have a look around. The designs of the locations are also very unique, and it's not just one or two buildings and then an inn. The author has actually carefully designed the layout of each of the cities. There's also multiple levels to most of them, which gives off a mini Lothlórien feel to some of the cities. Some of them are also really close or even overlapping certain vanilla landmarks, but the author has carefully moulded them around each other so it all fits in nicely. As you've already seen from the video, the landmarks also come with their own population, whether it be guards from a supporting city or their very own guards and citizens. The NPCs also come with their own AI, and they'll behave like the other generic NPCs in the game, so they'll get up, do their job and then retire to their homes at night. The locations have also been added to the Radiant quests, so you can be sent there from all over Skyrim. All of the buildings can also be entered, and there'll be a mixture of homes and other buildings depending on the location. So if there's a farm, then there's probably a farm store, and if it's a military stronghold, then it's probably a blacksmith or weapons trader. On top of that, the author plans to expand with some quest lines and some other rewards like new player homes, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. On the mod page you can read into most of the locations, and the author explains their backstories as well as the logic behind the recent changes, but we prefer to just explore them for ourselves and come to our own conclusions. In terms of compatibility, you shouldn't have any issues, but obviously if you have other location mods installed that edit the same areas, then the two mods will clash. But overall, since discovering the mod, it's become one of our favourite location mods for Skyrim so far. The continual updates and the future plans for the mod also show that it has a bright future with only more to come. So if you're interested in exploring these ancient cities for yourselves, then you can find a link down below. As always, be sure to leave an endorsement on any mod you enjoy, and thanks for watching.